I have a question for you, and I would like you to think about it before you answer. If you had to choose between cake or pie, which would you choose? Why? Well, it sounds like a Dr. Seuss rhyme to me. It actually comes from my eldest daughter. She used to ask it of her childhood friends, and then later it became an interview question for her boyfriends. Remember, you can't get this cake or pie question wrong. It's your opinion. It's your preference we're asking about. It doesn't have to be the same as anyone else's. I will give you a little time. If you have never had to think about it, it may take a little while to realize that you do have a preference, and then you have to figure out the why part. As for me, I share my daughter's preference for pie, in most circumstances. As for my whys, I suppose that I'm not overly fond of icing. Just too much sugar, I guess. I do like fresh fruit, so I like fresh fruit pies. Although some cakes do have a nice fruit filling. Most pie is served warm, and I like that. However, my favorite pie is actually served cold. For me, pie is a comfort food, and cake is reserved for celebrations. After all, who ever heard of a birthday pie or a multi-layered wedding pie? The point of this exercise is to point out that while people can have different opinions, they're still people. If you are human, then you are complicated, and that's a good thing. It would be wrong to call cake people evil, to go around blowing up bakeries and targeting cake people for extermination. Imagine a world where there were pie rallies, where pie people subjugated cake people, where moderate pie people, those that liked the occasional birthday cake and believed in wedding cakes, were labeled traitors and therefore subject to the same fate as those evil pie people. If you can't imagine such a world, you haven't been paying attention. I have just returned from Rwanda, where in 1994, the Hutu majority had been calling the Tutsi minority cockroaches, a deliberately dehumanizing term. And over the course of about 100 days, more than 1 million of these cockroaches and the moderate Hutus, cockroach sympathizers, were killed. Not by an invading army using aerial bombings or long-range missiles, but by former friends, neighbors, even family members, wielding machetes and clubs. This can be the consequences of a divided culture, where people different from you are labeled as other, where the other can be believed to be less than human, where your problems are seen as the result of tolerating the continued existence of others, where the solution to your problems, the final solution, is believed to be the extermination of others. This has happened far too many times in our history. When one of the friends I was visiting in Rwanda, a survivor of the 1994 genocide, was asked about the conditions in his country before the killings, he said he was seeing it happen again. In Rwanda? Things seem so much better now. No, not in Rwanda. When I visit the United States. Not in my country. That's impossible. But, to paraphrase Nelson Mandela, it's only impossible until it happens. I learned more about Rwanda. I saw decades worth of societal fragmentation. I saw the systematic dehumanizing of others. I saw the groundwork took time. I connected with people engaged in peace education. Through them, I learned of 3 things that are typically missing prior to crimes against humanity: empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others; critical thinking, the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue prior to forming a judgment, and personal responsibility, feeling a duty to deal with something. I learned that it is possible to reinstitute these missing things and change the course of history. How hard could it be? So empathy. While I like pie, I am able to understand why people like cake. I can also enjoy a good cake from time to time. Critical thinking. While others may attempt to label me as a pie person, I am first and foremost a person. I recognize that people are complicated and that this is a good thing. Simplifying anyone to a single idea is foolish. Personal responsibility. I made this video. I am working with an international organization working to prevent genocide and mass atrocities worldwide. Ubuntu is a popular South African Zulu word meaning humanity towards others. But I didn't go to South Africa. Not yet. I visited the amazingly resilient people of Rwanda. And maybe that's why I like their Kinyarwanda term, Ubuntu, better. It loosely translates as, I am because you are, and you are because I am. We are interdependent. We are not others. So, do you want to make a difference? To have an impact? It doesn't have to be difficult to change the world. Be aware of language that tries to turn people into others. And when you encounter it, think about it. Does it really make sense? And then exercise a personal responsibility to do something about it. If you want to do more, join us at the Impact Zone. There are people willing to help. Thank you for listening.